Hello and welcome back to Mini Metro, and it's time for part 3 of our little mini series for celebrating the 10th birthday of Mini Metro. So we've done the first 2 levels in this challenge. So we have done here Warsaw and Lisbon, and then Tokyo. Ignore this, I have actually given it a go, but unfortunately I have lost the recording, and unfortunately it is also not a very good score, so hopefully we can do better and show you what was going on. So let's ignore these green ticks going on here. I think, yeah, we can just ignore that. But the aim is to have 1,200 passengers delivered in Tokyo with at least one station connected to all lines. So basically, we are looking at creating a big hub station. Oh, here we go. Nice pink line to start off with, and we are stretching over or under the water, I suppose, because they are little tunnels, it looks like. So there we go, first line in. And if we look down here, we can see that one of our trains is actually a bullet train. So we can get our trains moving a bit quicker. And talking of moving a bit quicker, let's speed these things up and push into this and see how we get on. So I'm enjoying this nice little squiggle. It's almost like a little thunderbolt in pink. We actually have some nice little pastel colours going here, like a nice pastel blue and then a nice pastel purple down over here. So we'll just connect that one in over there. We can shrink that pink line back. There we go. And at this moment, this nice square station appears to be our central hub station. It's probably quite a good location. It looks fairly central. It's got a nice sort of mix of stations around it. And squares tend to be a bit less common, so a good one for us to be linking through, as everyone is probably going to be needing that stop. Anyway, let's keep persevering on and see how we get on. There we go. Let's keep the zigzag alternating going on. We will make things less zigzaggy and less all over the place in a bit, but at this point I think what we're after is, I'm going to take a carriage. We have a spare third line, so I'm just going to keep trying to boost up my capacity on the line. I think that'll be the most useful. Anyway, let's speed on into this, and I'll give you a bit of voiceover as we go. I'm not going to be too bothered by doing my whole let's see how well we can do at strategies for success. We did pretty well in the last one doing that. This time I think we are just going to persevere and use heart and soul and see how we feel with that. It probably won't work as well. It never does work as well when I just go with trying to make things look cool compared to trying to do things that actually work well. But that's all a problem for later on when we are going to be struggling reaching those 1,200. At the moment we are going strong. We've done 71, maybe a few more if I sped this up as I said I was going to. Anyway, I really will speed it up now, so let's get cracking. Let's get speeding into this, and I'll be back in a bit once we have reached some goals. So yes, we are finally speeding up into this. Let's see how we get on. Well, first thing that you might have noticed, our hub station has moved. I will take a line this time. But anyway, as I was saying, our hub station has moved. It's now that triangle stop just north of the square that initially was. I feel like this works a bit better because we've got quite a few squares spawning at the moment in quite a tight area, and that triangle just seemed to link. If I was clever, I would keep adjusting where the hub station went through to keep trying to make things better. Unfortunately, I keep playing this level with heart and soul and not much brain. And brain, unfortunately, is a very useful thing to have when you are designing a metro network. Purely going with passion and feeling doesn't always work. But at the moment it is looking nice. Undeniably, I like how this looks. It's a pleasing shape. The colours are nice. I know we have no choice on the colours, but I am liking it. Anyway, there's not a huge amount going on at this point. We're just expanding what feels right when it feels right at this point. Okay, as we're cruising along, we have passed 1,000 points now. Things are progressing, not as well as I would like. We have a few squiffly long lines which are mega inefficient. It appears not using strategies has its limitations and its flaws. It's not as nice looking as it was before, but we are nearly at the achievement that we wanted. Nearly at 1200. Okay, we have reached the 1200. We are struggling a bit. I'm not sure I can beat my high score at this point. We have a bit of a mess going on with this network, and maybe we should have moved our central hub to a different point. But we just need to get something over here nice and quickly. Hopefully this weekend will come through very quickly and we can start getting some more trains in. It's not a very convenient way of doing it like that, but we need to break up this run of circles. That should hopefully help a little bit, but we also need to do more on this yellow line. Yeah, it's not looking particularly spectacular at this point. Hopefully we can just manipulate things enough that we can make something work. Or hopefully. Yep, there we go. Round you come. And then all we need to do is probably jiggle you through one more time. There we go. Does that work? Maybe. Who knows at this point? Yeah. But I think that has sort of saved it a little bit. We have a spare carriage. Let's keep speeding through and see what we can get up to. So 1700 is what we're looking to beat. Hopefully we can get it up into the multiple thousands. That could be a big ask. Who knows at this point? Let's just see what we can get doing. So we beat it. We got a nice round 1900, but still not very good. It's a shame. It's a tricky one, this one actually. Very, very tricky. I will give it another go, I think. But this could be one of the trickier challenges to try and get up into the 2000. Let's have a look, see what everyone else is getting on this one. Yeah, we're only top 20%, but there's a huge bit of progression that we can still do. So let's give this another crack in just a moment and see how we get on. Okay, so we are starting again, and we might try and employ a few more strategies this time, but we're going to see how this goes on. Lucky you, getting a bit of a 2-for-1 in this episode. Sometimes you have to pay extra for a bit of that 2-on-1 action, but lucky you this time. I am just going to speed through this whole thing. We're going to get through it as quickly and as painlessly as possible. So at this point I will not be talking about anything in particular, as obviously I say obviously, you might not be aware of this, but I am talking to you as I am playing it at the start, and as it's being sped up, this will be out of sync with what I was looking at as it was happening. So yes, some more strategies will be used in this. I am going to try and remember to move around our central hub point. At this point, we still have the square over here being used as our central hub. It didn't seem to work being the best on the last one, but maybe this time things will be different. Okay, back to voiceover, Dave. And our pink line has now seemed to form like a bit of a cannon shape. Oh, that's just gone and ruined it. So I think at this point we will take some more line, but we're also taking quite a few tunnels on, as well as trying to be more amenable to redesigning our lines. I also want to have more tunnels so we can have more stretching under, because last time we had our pink line getting very long and sort of stretching too far to really be efficient. We've already got the same issue happening with this one, but at the moment it's holding up, which is good. But yeah, there we go, some more tunnels taken in, and that does seem to be helping at this point. The other sort of strategy is trying not to it isn't, although we do have a very long line on that pink one. Ooh, we'll take the Shinkansen. So new strategy here, what I'm going to do is I am going to remove some trains off this pink line in just a moment and replace them with some Shinkansens once we have rejigged the line there. And then I'm going to move the carriages off the slow trains onto the fast Shinkansen trains so they can zoom around. So yes, the pink line is longer than I would like. Oh, look at that success. Like, it is a lot longer. If the trains are moving quicker, they can hopefully get there before everywhere starts overloading, sort of compensating for the fact that we have far too much distance taken on those lines. Talking about the lines being too long, at this point we are just going to try and work out a way of trying to shrink these lines from being too long and share the work with a few different lines. I'm also toying with the idea that maybe we will move where our central hub is, so no longer being that original square that we started off with, but the square slightly more to the west over there. I do not know if that will work or be a good idea at this point. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Well, actually, I do kind of know, because I know what happens as I have already done this and voice overing it afterwards. And I will end up moving it back to that original square, like just that now. It was just a bit too far to the west, and as things keep spawning on the islands, trying to get that purple line to take some of the load off the work that the pink line is doing is getting quite crucial. Having these Shinkansen trains is actually really useful on this pink line. I know I didn't take it then, I went for another line. That might have been a mistake in my strategy. I have never been the biggest fan of the Shinkansen train, but this might be changing, as our score is looking pretty good at the moment. We've just passed 2,500, which is a substantial improvement on the 1900 that we had before, and it's still growing fairly rapidly. This should hopefully allow us to get a good score using a little bit of strategy. Now we've got a few more tunnels. Hopefully, if I'm smart here, I can work out how to use our 3 tunnels to get a third line onto these islands. Well, I say a fourth line onto these islands. I keep forgetting that our little light blue line does just tickle the edge of the islands, but this darker blue can make a more productive, a better line. Oh, I think, and now what we do as we progress, it's all about now manipulating it and trying to get the trains in the place where they need it. That is a bit of a shame. We have that train so close. If only I got there half a second earlier, we probably would have been okay. But 3,547 is a vast improvement on the 1900 we had before, which was a big improvement on the lost 1700 odd that we started off on. So yes, this really does prove that using some form of strategies, even if I was only using basic strategies in that one, do make a big difference. As much as it is nice just following the gut, following the heart, sometimes what you need to do is follow some strategies. Use your head, not your heart, all the times. It's a bit of a sad conclusion to draw, that really, isn't it? Anyway, what the heart is telling me to do now is to look at these graphs that I don't always understand. So yep, daily trips bouncing all over the place. Total trips, of course, is always going up. Angry passengers. God, look at that. But yep, all ending at the end. The population. This is the one I don't really understand. Why does population matter? And why is the population going down here? Like, if it's just because there's a new station that pops up, surely that's forever increasing. I do not know. Stations. How many stations are there? That's always going up. Look at that. Nice straight line track length going up. Total trip distance. Yeah, many exciting things are going on here. Transfers per trip. Oh, nothing for all of that period, and it scatters all over the place again. Anyway, there we go. We've looked at the fun graphs. We have improved our score pretty well. We've depressingly worked out that strategies do make a difference. Anyway, thank you once again for watching. Happy birthday, Mini Metro, and I'll hope to see you again in the next episode for some more fun with Mini Metro or something else. But until then, ciao for now.